This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 30th day of June in the year 2026. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. Some of Guyana's political leaders believe that while progress has been made in enhancing ethnic relations in the country, challenges persist. The Ethnic Relations Commission hosted a national symposium today on unity, diversity, and the path forward in observance of the country's 60th independence anniversary, which was celebrated back in May. Opposition Chief Whip Member of Parliament for the Wind Party, Tabita Sarabohali, told the forum that 60 years since Guyana gained its independence, the country continues to wrestle with questions of race, identity, inclusion, and belonging.
The foundations of modern Guyana were shaped by colonial policies that frequently divided communities along racial and ethnic lines. The legacy of slavery, the legacy of indentureship, and the colonial practice of divide and rule created wounds and insecurities that did not disappear with independence. The perceptions and realities of unequal treatment, the perceptions and realities of discrimination, the perceptions and realities of marginalization, of domination, of exclusion, and victimhood have left lasting scars on our society. They have contributed to distrust between communities and have often influenced how we view politics, how we view government, how we view power, and how we view each other. Yet, despite these challenges, progress has been made. Today, Guyana is more interconnected than at any previous point in our history.
The opposition chief whip said Guyana is more interconnected than any previous point in its history, as she reminded that schools, workplaces, religious institutions, and communities provide opportunities for interaction across ethnic lines. More Guyanese, she added, are willing to participate in cultural celebrations outside of their own traditions, and those are signs of progress. But she said progress is not the same as success.
The reality is that 60 years after independence, race continues to influence how many Guyanese interpret politics, economic opportunity, public policy, and national development. One of the most significant challenges facing race relations today is that many communities continue to feel excluded from the benefits of national development. As an African Guyanese, I would be dishonest if I did not acknowledge that there is a deep and growing concern within many African Guyanese communities that the unprecedented wealth generated by our oil and gas resources has not translated into meaningful economic advancement for ordinary people.
According to Sarabohali, many Guyanese feel that they are not experiencing tangible benefits from the country's prosperity, and that the opportunities for long-term economic participation are not reaching their communities in a meaningful way. She said there is also a concern that rather than addressing structural concerns through sustainable investment, entrepreneurship, skills development, and wealth creation, the response is often limited to short-term solutions. Sarabohali said there are also many Indo-Guyanese who do not see themselves reflected in the prosperity that is often reflected in national discussions, and for far too long the indigenous peoples of Guyana continue to feel forgotten in the national conversation. She said where their perceptions are entirely accurate, partially accurate, or inaccurate, they exist, and the Ethnic Relations Commission must do more than host conferences. She said the Constitution mandates the ERC to identify and analyze factors inhibiting harmonious relations between ethnic groups, study barriers to participation in social, economic, commercial, financial, cultural, and political life, conduct research into ethnic affairs, monitor ethnic relations, and make recommendations to the National Assembly. Meanwhile, Senior Minister for Finance Dr. Ashni Singh, while also acknowledging that while progress has been made, said there is more work to be done. He also warned against the sowing of seeds of division.
We need to be frank about separating rhetoric and sound bites from reality. We have a duty to work to ensure that our diversity continues as it has been in the past, that our diversity continues to be the source of strength that it has been over the generations that preceded us, and that we continue to build on this instead of becoming a source of division and weakness.
He said the government is of the firm belief that Guyana's diversity is a source of tremendous strength for the country. Minister Singh said it was against that backdrop that President Irfan Ali adopted the One Guyana theme, as he fosters a spirit of oneness in the country and builds on it in the development of the country. He said Guyanese continue to participate in, contribute to, and benefit from the economic transformation that is currently unfolding.
In fact, in the first term of President Ali's presidency, we reduced by a half the unemployment rate from 12.8% in 2020 to 6.8% in 2024, creating more than 104,000 new jobs. And those jobs went to Guyanese of every single background and in every single region of our country. We reduced youth unemployment from 30.2% in 2020 to 12.1% in 2024. And here again, the young people who entered the labor market and found work came from every part of Guyana and comprised every imaginable background.
Minister Singh, in defense of the work done by the government in bridging the gap, spoke of the social programs that have been created to meet the needs of Guyanese, including training and human resource development, job creation, and the issuance of cash grants. He said the government is committed to creating opportunities for all Guyanese for their growth and development. The chairman of the ERC, Sheikh Moil Haq, said meaningful progress has been made, but the journey continues. The forum was intended to have Guyanese leaders reflect on ethnic relations in the country, engage in structured dialogue, collect empirical data, and produce an actionable findings-based report. More news coming up in a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. It can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Deck the halls with Bowser.
This is your time.
Yeah, but we didn't get all we needed last Christmas, and now we can.
Republic Bank Cash Bonanza.
Let's renovate our home and purchase appliances.
And plan a trip with the kids.
Or buy a new car.
Republic Bank Cash Bonanza. Same day approvals. Apply in person or safely online. Plus a chance to win lots of prizes. This is your time to get what you need. Republic Bank Cash Bonanza.
Presents Slow Jams and Ja Vinci, Saturday 11th, July 2026 at the National Park. presents Slow Jams and Ja Vinci, Saturday 11th, July 2026 at the National Park Early Bird Tickets, $3,000 until Saturday 4th, July 2026.
In the morning, like my moon, when you gonna live your life.
Guyana's permanent representative to the United Nations, Ambassador Karen Rodrigues-Birkett, today held discussions with heads of missions of the European Union member states as she continues her bid for the post of Secretary General of the United Nations. A release from her office said that during the exchange, the ambassador outlined her vision for the office of the UN Secretary General and her approach to advancing the UN across its three pillars. She also spoke candidly about the experiences that have shaped her leadership and inspired her decision to put her name forward, including her journey from a small indigenous community here in Guyana to an activist government minister, an international civil servant working consistently to improve the lives of people. Ambassador Rodrigues-Birkett has served 5 years at the United Nations, including 1 year on the UN Security Council. The release stated that in responding to the questions raised, she underscored her commitment to building a more effective, responsive, and results-oriented United Nations that delivers for the people everywhere, and an institution that learns from the past, is fit for the present, and ready for the future. Earlier this month, President Irfan Ali announced his nomination of Ambassador Karen Rodrigues-Birkett and said he believes she is well positioned to lead the organization. At the end of the year, Ambassador Rodrigues-Birkett is expected to face off with Michelle Bachelet of Chile, Maria Fernanda of Ecuador, Radiel Grossi of Argentina, Rebecca Grispan of Costa Rica, and Macky Sall of Senegal for the top UN position. Rodrigues-Birkett is a former government minister in Guyana who also worked at the Food and Agriculture Organization. The Agriculture Ministry has announced that the government will begin distributing cash subsidies to rice farmers next week, amounting to more than $3 billion. Earlier this year, President Irfan Ali had promised to set up and assist rice farmers in light of global price pressures. Following the drop in global prices, rice farmers from across the country have been urging the Guyana Rice Development Board to step up and purchase their paddy directly. The president had laid out a number of options for the rice farmers during a meeting earlier this year to provide assistance, and in those consultations, the farmers opted for a cash payout. Following the consultation, it was agreed that rice farmers cultivating 50 acres or less will receive $15,000 per acre, while those cultivating more than 50 acres will receive $10,000 per acre. In a statement, the Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa said his ministry, through the Guyana Rice Development Board, completed the registration process for eligible farmers, and following the conclusion of the harvest, undertook the necessary verification of claims to ensure transparency and accountability. The verification process has now been completed, paving the way for the commencement of payments next week, the minister said. He said the government remains committed to working closely with farmers to ensure that the rice sector continues to grow.
It's an emblem dog. Why your mom boy is me the star. Rat-a-tat-a-tat, a big sour rat. Rat-a-tat-a-tat, a big sour rat.
Me no wanna exhibit it in me, we need it to nothing, man.
KFC's Nothing to Laugh About 17, July 4th and 5th.
I don't tell you, don't come for candy because we all know you is not no price. So come downstairs with your big lip, fade back, stink mouth self. Come downstairs.
KFC Nothing to Laugh About 17.
Your business is built on hard work, vision, and the drive to succeed. At GBTI, we understand what it takes to grow. That's why we offer Grow, a small business service designed to help your business expand, adapt, and reach its full potential. From new opportunities to new milestones, we're here to support you every step of the way. Grow from GBTI. Progress starts here.
Washi. Hi people. Washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say Wash your soap powder, wash clothes so nice. Wash your soap powder, leave your clothes color bright. Wash your soap powder, leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks for wash your soap powder, for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright, have my clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Wash your soap powder, wash clothes so nice. Wash your soap powder, leave your clothes color bright. Wash your soap powder, have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Stabrook Market. GECOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing July 1, 2026 to produce an official list of electors, OLE. If you will be 18 years or older by June 30, 2026, and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check whether you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can make a claim for registration, change, correction to your particulars, or you can object to the inclusion of anyone whom you believe should not be on the list. If you are desirous of making a claim or objection, you must visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to do so. Visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of the above transactions. All GECOM registration offices will open Monday to Friday from 8 to 18 hours, Saturday, Sunday and holidays from 10 to 14 hours. For more information, contact the GECOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. I can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make
Dead the horse with Bowser.
This is your time.
Yeah, but we didn't get all we needed last Christmas, and now we can.
Republic Bank Cash Bonanza.
Let's renovate our home and purchase appliances.
And plan a trip with the kids.
Or buy a new car.
Republic Bank Cash Bonanza. Same day approvals. Apply in person or safely online. Plus a chance to win lots of prizes. This is your time to get what you need. Republic Bank Cash Bonanza.
Well, APNU Member of Parliament Sherrod Duncan believes there are benefits in having the opposition parties working together, as he threw out the challenge to the leader of the opposition, Azruddin Mohammed, to meet with the parties within the parliamentary opposition to charter a way forward. During an appearance on Sources on Sunday, MP Duncan, while admitting that the opposition parties appear to disagree on a number of issues, said he's of the view that there are benefits to working together.
I think we have to dial it back a little bit. We have to meet and we have to talk. And I want to put the onus upon the leader of the opposition, because 10 months in, I don't see, I haven't heard a call for a meeting of the parliamentary opposition. I would love to hear his vision on where he wants to see the parliamentary opposition go. I would love to hear some of the issues he wants to tackle in this first year, we're in the second quarter now, in the third quarter, as we close out this year. I'd love to see that. I know
the occupation of the opposition-nominated seats on the 7-member Guyana Elections Commission is among the issues that the APNU and the Win Party continue to have major disagreements on. At present, the opposition allotted seats on the commission are occupied by Vincent Alexander, Charles Corbin, and Desmond Trotman, who were appointed based on nominations put forward by previous opposition leaders from a different political party. In a recent letter to the chairman of the APNU, Aubrey Norton, the opposition leader Azruddin Mohammed said there was an ever-increasing need for 3 new commissioners to be appointed under the Constitution. But Norton, in response, said the commission remains fully constituted. The APNU argues that the Constitution does not provide for the commissioners to limit office, a position MP Duncan restated on Sunday. He said what is needed is constitutional reform, adding that there are numerous issues directly and indirectly linked to GECOM that the opposition parties in Parliament could be working on.
The Constitution does not allow for the commissioners to be moved. We have to put a pin in that issue. Perhaps the constitutional reform end is something we can pick up on. There's a wide array of issues at GECOM we can work on as well. I was hoping the first common ground we could find is the removal of the chairman of GECOM, who is not serving in the best interest of the people of this country, and then we can pick up on several things that have been penned. Whether it's the Carter Center report, the most recent one, the EU, the European Union election observer mission report, we have the Commonwealth. Also, I hope that those documents, they're not stuck on a shelf somewhere and are allowed to get cobweb. But there is so much in those recommendations that the combined opposition can find common ground on, just with GECOM alone, in terms of pushing for significant changes at GECOM.
While the opposition leader argues that his office ought to enjoy meaningful representation and confidence within the Elections Commission, MP Duncan submitted that the three commissioners, Alexander, Corbyn and Trotman, are not anti-opposition. He questioned the haste in attempting to have them removed when there are other major issues within the electoral framework that warrant the urgent attention of the opposition parties.
I think wind came in very heavy where it concerns the GECOM commissioners. I think they probably did not understand the terrain as much as they should, because now we're hearing that constitutionally, and it is for the very purpose the Constitution is set up in the way it is, to protect the GECOM commissioners from political interference, to being beholden to any master, basically. So if we can move them willy-nilly and overnight, then we aren't creating a very strong institution, as sensitive as an election commission is. And I think our colleagues in We Invest in Nationhood Party, who I respect a lot, may even have come in a little hot at the regional level.
MP Duncan said while there would be hot-button issues like the election of the regional chairman and vice chairman for Region 10, there are many issues that they can agree to work on in the interest of the region and by extension the country. He said while the MPs from the three parties have been talking to each other, sharing information on various issues, there is a need for a more structured approach. The Guyana Defense Force reported today that 2 officers and 28 other ranks of the GDF have completed an intensive jungle life training program, which was conducted by the Brazilian Army's 1st Jungle Infantry Brigade in Boa Vista, Brazil. The 5-day training program formed part of the Regional Military Exchange Meeting, an initiative aimed at enhancing operational cooperation and strengthening the capabilities of both armed forces through the exchange of knowledge and professional expertise. The GDF said under the agreement Brazil hosted the first phase of the program during the first semester of 2026, while the Guyana Defense Force is expected to host the reciprocal training later this year. Throughout the training program, the GDF contingent, comprising ranks of the infantry battalions and the Special Forces Battalion, received instruction in a range of jungle warfare disciplines essential to operating in one of the world's most demanding environments. The GDF explained that training included combat shooting, navigation, immediate action drills, communications in jungle operations, explosives, tactical emergency medical care, military planning, and briefing procedures. The training was also designed to enhance individual and collective proficiency while promoting interoperability between the Guyana Defense Force and the Brazilian Army. The exchange, according to the GDF, further underscores the enduring defense relationship between Guyana and Brazil, which spans several decades. As neighboring nations sharing the Amazon region, Guyana and Brazil continue to recognize the importance of close military cooperation. Well, the Caribbean Community CARICOM has announced that it is set to convene a meeting of representatives from member states and other key stakeholders to examine issues affecting the Rastafarian community across the region. In a statement today, CARICOM said its meeting is coming against a backdrop of persistent reports of discrimination and marginalization being experienced by Rastafarians, both in the region and internationally. CARICOM said the decision was taken at the 42nd intersessional meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government back in May. The regional body said the heads of government meeting held preliminary discussions on the issue and will now be forging ahead with deeper discussions on the issue. Member states noted that many Rastafarians continue to face exclusion in areas such as education, employment, and public life, and they reaffirmed the importance of ensuring the full recognition and protection of the rights of Rastafarians as equal members of the society, CARICOM said. A committee comprising reps from Barbados, Jamaica, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Trinidad and Tobago will be established to advance consideration of issues affecting the Rastafarian community in the region and internationally. CARICOM also noted that several positive national initiatives have already been undertaken by member states to address historical injustices experienced by Rastafarians, including official public apologies, provision of land grants, and legislation to protect individuals from discrimination in the workplace. The initiatives, CARICOM said, are examples of progressive action that could inform a coordinated regional approach.
This Emancipation Day, celebrate culture, heritage, and unity at the 8th Annual Freedom Fest 2026. Shades of Melanin. Join us on Saturday, the 1st of August at Bayrock National Stadium in Linden, starting at 10 a.m. Admission absolutely free. Experience the recognition of outstanding lineners, vibrant African attire, cultural displays, African art, delicious cuisines, music, drumming, kids activities, vending booths, and so much more. It's the 8th Annual Freedom Fest. Shades of Melanin. Bring out the entire family and celebrate the beauty, strength, and spirit of African heritage. Freedom Fest 2026. Shades of Melanin. Hosted by Figgy Entertainment in collaboration with the Wisma Flats Group. Don't miss it.
GECOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing July 1, 2026 to produce an official list of electors, OLE. If you will be 18 years or older by June 30, 2026, and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check whether you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. If you have changed your address since you were registered, you need to visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your new area of residence to apply for a transfer. Tuesday, July 14, 2026 is the last day you can apply for a transfer during this exercise. For more information, contact the GECOM on 2250-278-9 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
Welcome to Churches New Amsterdam.
20 years of churches, chickens, you and us, and there is nothing missing. So many friends and strangers pass through our doors, and they always come back for more. Guyana, the love keeps growing, and we thankful for the support you are showing. We got so many locations and much more to come. It's gratitude and celebration. Can you feel the love? 20 years of churches, chickens, you and us, and there is nothing missing. So many friends and strangers pass through our doors, and they always come back for more. Feel the love.
Fruitopia, Fruitopia, it's the drink that's hype. Citrus punch, fruit punch tastes nice. Guava, pineapple, that give me a vibe. We no want nothing less compared to the rest. Fruitopia the best. Quench any thirst when it comes to the test. Perfect thing for my lunch. Flavors pack a punch. Fruitopia, Fruitopia, it's the drink that's hype. Citrus punch, fruit punch tastes nice. Fruitopia, the drink that rocks your lunchtime.
Your business is built on hard work, vision, and the drive to succeed. At GBTI, we understand what it takes to grow. That's why we offer Grow, a small business service designed to help your business expand, adapt, and reach its full potential. From new opportunities to new milestones, we're here to support you every step of the way. Grow from GBTI. Progress starts here.
Have to rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guy is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guy's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guy Oil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future.
Feel spice power in every sip.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall. In the region, many areas of Venezuela devastated by last week's twin earthquakes have yet to receive significant government help, leaving residents to carry out much of the rescue effort. In the port of La Guaira, one of the hardest hit cities, the BBC saw people using crowbars, mallets, and pickaxes to try to dig out loved ones and neighbors. Tens of thousands of people are still believed to be missing. Early on Monday, nerves were frayed by an aftershock, although no further damage was reported. More than 1,700 people have been killed in what interim President Delcy Rodriguez said was the most brutal natural catastrophe in Venezuela's history. International aid has mobilized, but hopes of finding survivors are fading. Overnight into Monday, a 21-year-old man became the latest person to be pulled alive after being trapped for over 100 hours. The magnitude 7.2 and 7.5 earthquakes on Wednesday struck within 39 seconds of each other in the northern state of La Guaira, causing almost 800 buildings to collapse. Monday's aftershock again shook La Guaira and the capital Caracas and was measured at magnitude 4.6. 7 alleged gangsters, including a gang leader in Trinidad and Tobago, were ordered to be detained at 2 facilities in preventive detention orders gazetted Monday. The orders alleged that the men were members of gangs identified as 9 Gang, Grim 7, Rasta City 7, 7 Gang, Celots, and an informal gang. According to the detention orders, 3 of the men are members of the 9 Gang. Jevon Hollow Man Williams was identified as the leader of the 9 Gang. He is accused of recruiting young males into gang activity and being involved in drug distribution, armed robberies, shootings, targeting rivals, witness intimidation, with intelligence alleging also that he plans to escalate attacks using firearms in public spaces. He was ordered detained at Golden Grove Prison. Amir Garking, an alleged enforcer within the 9 Gang, was ordered detained at the Eastern Correctional and Rehabilitation Center. As intelligence claims, he planned escalating violent gang attacks and mirrored the accusations made against Williams. The third 9 Gang member was Ravalo Edinburgh, who was identified as a narcotics distributor who is detained at the ECRC. Apart from intelligence claiming he was preparing for imminent escalation of violence, Edinburgh is also accused of drug trafficking, armed robberies, shootings, and witness intimidation. The other gangsters are Randy Yussi, Dennis Stapleton, Abraham Lett, and Shane Ali. And finally tonight, international news. The Supreme Court has ruled that babies born in the U.S. have a constitutional right to citizenship, rejecting Donald Trump's bid to end the 150-year-old policy. In a 6-3 decision, Chief Justice John Roberts ruled that children born in the U.S. to parents unlawfully or temporarily present are citizens at birth,
under the 14th Amendment. President Trump had sought to limit the right through an executive order, arguing that the children of undocumented immigrants and some temporary visitors were not subject to the jurisdiction thereof, and thus not eligible for the birthright citizenship. The ruling is a major setback for Trump's immigration agenda and has been welcomed by civil rights groups. On Truth Social, Trump said that the court's decision was too bad and vowed to continue to fight to end birthright citizenship through legislation. The U.S. has granted citizenship to everyone born in the country since 1868, with the rights enshrined in the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Swetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.